All right, hello all, and welcome back to another day of JumboCast broadcasting of Tufts Volleyball. We continue the Tufts Invitational Tournament, a round robin of the Tufts Jumbos, Brandeis judges, and two other teams, one of which, Illinois Tech, we saw last night, and the last of which, Wellesley College, we will see later tonight. This is our second game. Lily and I were on the call last night. Lily, how do you think that game went for the Jumbos?
A really strong game there from the Jumbos, really aggressive on the net, really shutting down any offense from Illinois Tech. Looking for a similar play from them here today. Looks like they're going with a similar starting lineup with Yarwood, Ryan, and Lightfoot in the front to start, and Zedrick back to serve. So hopefully they can just continue that momentum from last night against what should be a slightly stronger Brandeis team.
Yep, it'll be good to see the adjustments the Jumbos make today. Brandeis looks to be maybe a bit more of a challenge for the Jumbos. They kind of had their way with Illinois Tech, and also in their first game of the season. So we'll see how the Jumbos rise to the occasion.
Certainly the Jumbos are more well-matched physically by this Brandeis team, who also has that height up on the net that the Jumbos are able to get from Golden and Lightfoot and Dessler.
Right, Zedrick up to serve as usual in the first spot. Lee has subbed in at the libero position for Legree. Zedrick has an interesting service, actually. She does a little double hop. Nice float to the libero is Pereira. Set, and Graham and Sequel will tip it over. Yarwood, hard hit right off the block. And Verstovchik tools the block right to the outside. Jumbos couldn't get around to it.
Yeah, the Jumbos have struggled a little bit on some of their blocks, on some of the stuff blocks, so I'm looking for them to improve that here a little bit in this game.
Bohr with the float serve to Dessler, Zedrick, and it's Lightfoot who's going to shank that a little. Didn't look like she got her whole hand on it, as Bohr will go up for her second serve. Bohr, float, Dessler again. Zedrick, right slide to Ryan this time, but she also misses outside.
Another little miscommunication there from the Jumbos. I think they're trying to get their timing right here at the start of this match, something they've done in both of their last games.
Bohr hits the libero in lead this time. They're going to go with the same slide. Zedrick has to free ball it over. The libero Pereira there. Bump set to Verstovchik. And a tricky pass by Dessler, but works out as the judges can't get quite under it.
Yeah, misplay there on that free ball by White. Those are the kind of balls as a middle you love to see and be able to just drive back down.
Yarwood, tough float. It's Bohr who takes it, and with the hit is Oppenheimer. Zedrick out to Dessler with a cannon for an arm. Again, misses just a little bit out. That's the third or so hit from the Jumbos from three different players, Ryan, Lightfoot, and Dessler, all missing out.
Jumbos are looking a little over-aggressive today. They're really going for some of those kills.
It's 12 White up to serve. Lee, an uncharacteristic shank pass off the serve receive from the libero.
Lee had a strong performance in the last game with 5 digs.
With Emerson White up to serve, that means the judges' libero is out. Jumbos make the best of it. Ryan, and they're going to get what looks to be a double touch.
Smart tip there from Ryan.
Pereira back in for the judges, and Lee, the jumbo libero, out to serve. Has great placement on her serves. We'll see where she goes, and she goes to Bohr. And great decision by Lee.
Jumbos had a lot of service errors in the last game, as did Illinois Tech. So I think they're hoping today to keep those errors to a minimum, really keeping that ball in the court.
Maybe it's the different jerseys. They were wearing white yesterday, I believe. Now
Yes.
it's the Tufts blue. Setting is Grandman Sequel, pounding it down are the judges.
Yeah, there's not a lot you can do about that one on defense. Once that one goes past the block, driven down like that, really hard to return.
Now Verstovšek, the outside, looking to serve. She'll float it to Dessler. Looks like they're targeting her today. Miscommunication, Lightfoot and Yarwood. Unfortunate. We saw a similar thing yesterday where to start the game, communication seemed to be a little low, but they kind of got it going.
Yeah, yesterday the communication, especially between the setter and some of the hitters, was a little bit off, which we've seen a little bit at the beginning of this set.
For Stalchik. And it is right off the shoulder of Yarwood, it looked to be. Maybe Dessler. Hard to see from this angle. But nevertheless, it's an ace for Verstovšek. Laura Verstovšek.
Verstovšek is the judge's most productive hitter. 19 kills in her last game.
Wow. Phenomenal float serve from Verstovšek. Just knuckleballs it straight into the floor. Dessler had no idea how to take that one. And wanting some more passing capabilities, the defensive specialist, Anna Nachmanoff, is in for Janelle Yarwood. Good run for Verstovšek. She looks to continue. And the sub looks to work out. Of course, it'll go down as a service error, but Nachmanoff gets it going. It's Maddie Yu with the setter change for the Jumbos.
Yeah, you never know. Even just a little bit of a different look from your opponent can cause you just to slip up on that serve there a little bit.
All right, good point as Yu goes deep to Bohr, and with the hit, it looked pretty deep, but Nachmanoff gets it from Newberg, and just a little roll shot will win the point for the Jumbos.
Nice quick there from Legree. Finds most of her kills from those little quick passes from the setter.
Yu back to serve. She goes to the libero this time in Pereira. And Grace Legree tries to cover her own block, loses at the net, but can't quite get a hand on it, as that'll be a tip out by the Jumbos. Judges ball. Oppenheimer back to serve. Lee again off. Nachmanoff saves it. And it's Tori Golden who gets it back. Yu goes quick. Golden out.
Good hustle there from the Jumbos, really able to keep that one in bounds. I thought they were going to run into that line judge there.
Oppenheimer, float. Lee again struggling with the passes. Very unlikely to see, but that's the third shank on my count. Looks to get it going again. It'll be interesting to see as they just go right back at it. That's a good one. Yu out to Golden. And the set to Verstovšek blocked at the net. Judges keep it up. And as Bohr tries to sneak it in, it'll go outside. Jumbo point.
Beautiful solo block there from Legree. Jumbos have not had a lot of solo blocks this season. A couple of double blocks there on the outside yesterday against Moore from Illinois.
Pereira, the libero, can't get her arms under it. That'll go as an ace for Dessler, I believe, if they didn't get the second touch. Dessler now in. Pereira makes her way back, and this time with the middle set. And that'll be a double. Judges scrambling for that point. The setter, Graham Segal, couldn't quite get under it.
Another strong block there from Legree and Golden.
And Grandman Seagull to Newberg again. Lee's going to have to set it this time. And missing the pass is Christine Audette.
Audit does seem to be in for Yarwood, which is an interesting decision because Yarwood did lead the team in kills with 11 in the last game.
Lee's got it. You to Legree. Pounds it down.
Strong start here from Legree, both on the hitting and on the blocking. Grace Legree is now back to serve for the Jumbos. Picked up there by the judges, sent to that right side slide hit. That's going to be a net on the Jumbos on, I think, Christine Audit. Back to serve now. Picked up there by Audit. Dessler from the back row pounds it down, tipped over, picked up by you, sent outside to Audit, off the block, and just stuff block there from Verstovchek.
Yeah, monster block at the line. Looked like Verstovchek had some help there from Emerson White. Taking a quick lead are the judges. Dessler's got it. You to Ryan, goes quick, but just out. Jumbos have gotten some clean looks. Judges aren't necessarily blocking these shots, but the Jumbos trying to go around and missing just out. And that's kind of the tale of the first half of this first set. Jumbos missing a few out, a few uncharacteristic bad passes, and all of a sudden they're taking maybe their first time out of the season, and first time they've been down by 7, definitely. As Brandeis is on a roll.
I think this is the first time that the Jumbos have significantly trailed all season. They have swept both of the games they've played so far in fairly comfortable fashions, mostly by at least a 5-point margin. So facing this Brandeis team has definitely been their biggest challenge so far, especially it appears on that serve. Some of those Brandeis servers have struggled, have been a struggle for the Jumbos players, especially Oppenheimer there. I think the Jumbos are going to look here for some service runs of their own. You and Yarwood have both proven to be very effective servers for the Jumbos. I think most interestingly so far in this game is the Jumbos have lost some of their domination on the net that we have seen from them in their last 2 games, both Illinois Tech and Roger Williams. I think if they're able to get that back here, they'll be able to be a little bit more aggressive on their part. Back to serve now is Menzenkaw.
Dessler takes it, you to Ryan. Try the same thing, works this time as Ryan able to get her hand on top of the ball. And it's 17 Oppenheimer who tried to dig it, but too powerful is the hit from Jen Ryan.
Yeah, when the Jumbos are able to get their timing right and in rotation, they are very hard to stop.
All right, Zedrick, they've gone around the order, and she is serving yet again. Miscommunication as Pereira takes it. And Verstovchek tools the block. Hard hit, and it was Lightfoot who couldn't get around on the block.
Looks like Ryan and Lightfoot, they were not able to close their hands together in that block. Judges
or back to serve. Lee again, struggling to pass. It's these hard, quick serves from the judges. You see, as soon as the ref lets them, they'll just pound them in. They're going right back to Lee. No problem with it. Zedrick goes, and Dessler with the arm from the back row gets it. Lee able to save it. With Graham and Seagull, they're going to tip it over. Lee tries to go quick, and this time it's Pereira with the bump set. Verstovchek gets a little stuffed and unfortunate on a scrappy point, and scrappy as well. Zedrick just right off the shoulder trying to cover for that block.
Nice block there from Ada and Ryan, though. trying to maintain that dominance there on the net. Something you were mentioning is the speed of this game. Significantly quicker than any of the other games the Jumbos have played this season.
And with the tip is number 8, Christine Audette, the sophomore, who of course didn't play during COVID. Also the Jumbos with a heavy defensive back row lineup. They've got Nachmanoff, a DS subbing in, and they also have Megan Harrison, who played libero last game. So taking no chances with the passes, as we'll see 17, Oppenheimer. Zedrick goes back row, Dessler able to navigate it. Graham and Siegel with the back set to Verstovšek, hard hit. Jen Ryan saves it off the wonky pass from Harrison.
A nice dig, though, there from Harrison, who was very impressive when she came in for the last set of that game against Illinois Tech, having 6 digs in that set alone.
Yeah, phenomenal reaction time. Verstovšek seems to have a cannon on that right side, as Graham and Siegel will go to Oppenheimer this time. Blocked, looked like it didn't even get over the net, as Lightfoot and Ryan will be credited with that one. Tufts still down 6. No gain, not slipping behind. So they try to get back into this one. Poor pass by Pereira leads to just a roll shot. And Dessler go hard, wants a tip, but won't get it, as it's Judge's point.
Dessler is usually so consistent with those line shots. Having a little bit of trouble here today.
Newberg comes in at the middle, and again it'll be White who will serve. Oh, great float serve from Emerson White. Just drops right in there. We've seen that a few times now. Judges seem to have a really good control on their serves.
Their serves really do seem to float, getting that real dive there at the end.
See, they seem to be targeting the least experienced player on the Jumbos roster. That, of course, is the sophomore in Megan Harrison. We'll see if she goes there for a 3rd time in a row. Megan Harrison, defensive position. Dessler, again, these short balls are really killing the Jumbos. And all of a sudden, it's a 10-point lead for the Judges going into the end of the first set.
Interesting play here from the Jumbos. They almost look to be a little bit caught on their heels from this play by the Brandeis Judges. I think maybe that is down to the opponents that they have faced so far. Brandeis is definitely a much steeper challenge there from the Jumbos.
Right, there's a lot of momentum in volleyball. Brandeis, keeping the serve, able to just keep going, serve after serve very quickly, and the Jumbos aren't really able to recuperate. After the first time out, we saw a little bit of adjustment, but then Judges got the serve back, and that's a story from there.
I believe we talked about it yesterday. Jumbos really are a momentum-based team, as most teams are, but I think the Jumbos especially thrive off of that momentum that they're able to gain. And I think the quick play here by Brandeis is forcing the Jumbos to lose any momentum that they do gain. The Jumbos here just got to break up this service run by White. Get one nice pass.
All right, no lineup adjustments, it looks like, from the Jumbos. They'll keep everyone in. Emerson White with what is a 5-point run at this point. Goes short again to Dessler, but too short right into the net. And Legree will sub in for Jen Ryan.
So that timeout there did work for the Jumbos, icing their server.
For Megan Harrison. Steph Lee forgets to take off her mask. Can't have that weighing you down, Got to be more aerodynamic. Steph Lee has struggled with the receiving end of serving, but has been great from the line. As Graham and Siegel goes to Oppenheimer, Lee can't quite find it. Tough in that position. Looked like it tipped off the block. Took some velocity off it. and wasn't able to react in time as Verstovšek, who has been a powerful server from the line this set, looks to put this one away. It's 24-14 judges. Go short. Looks like they're targeting the bows. Definitely some points that Tufts can't rely on, but will be happy to take on those service errors.
Agreed. I think Tufts at this point is just looking for any of those little doors that can be opened by Brandeis to try to get back from this now 9-point deficit that they find themselves in.
U goes deep. No double from Bohr as it's right off the serve. Nachmanov, it's going to go high, but no one to block it. It's going to be scrappy. The libero Pereira's going to have to roll shot it over. Dessler has a chance and goes right for Pereira. Judges didn't seem to get into their groove on that point at all.
Not a surprise here that the Jumbos would go to Dessler in this set point scenario. Always very consistent in gaining points.
Hughes got the serve again. Straight to Bohr. And Grandman Segal goes to her favorite hitter so far in Verstovšek, who goes a bit too deep. They seem to be very confident in her from the back row.
Smart play there by Lee, just letting that one go out. Good court awareness.
Yu has a nice run, trying to even it up a bit. Grandman Segal goes back 3 to 20 is Newberg, and that'll end the set right off the hands of the Jumbos. So, great set from the judges. They served well, seemed to have the Jumbos on the back of their heels that entire time, and they looked clean throughout. The Jumbos, on the other hand, they started with some hitting errors, maybe a few serving errors, not as apparent as last night, but then really just looked like they couldn't dig the balls from the judges. Got a lot of clean hits.
Yeah, Brandeis really looked like they came out at the beginning of this game really aggressively, really looked like they wanted to stick it to the Jumbos just to begin with. Jumbos came out a little bit more conservative, had some miscommunication at the beginning of the set, as they have during both of the beginnings of their first two games, but they were not really able to shake it off in this set. Hopefully in this huddle right now, they're just talking about calming it down, going back to their fundamentals, really focusing there on that serve-receive.
Yeah, unlike what we saw last night, the serving from the Jumbos seems to be fine. Perhaps they're being a bit more conservative on their end with so many service errors. Definitely don't want to just give free points, but with the great passing from the judges, you can essentially give them a free point if you give them a soft enough serve. Though that doesn't seem to be the biggest issue. The biggest issue on the Jumbo side seems to be the receiving. Some great passers in Lee and Dessler just haven't quite been able to find the ball, not as quick to it. We'll see how they adjust to that as we've got 90 seconds left in the split.
They have already made some rotation changes in this set so far, putting Oda in, taking Yarwood out, and having Nachmanov play in the back row, which is different than the approach they were taking yesterday. So we'll see if they continue with those changes in this set, or they leave Yarwood, or they put Yarwood back in and leave her to rotate all the way around, or put in a completely new player who has not seen time in this game so far.
Right, we'll see how that turns out. Jumbo's not necessarily known for their back row sets, so I'm not sure you're losing too much offense from your players there. Perhaps it's just a momentum thing, making sure even your front court players are getting backcourt minutes. Always good to improve there and make sure you're up to game speed when you do need to hit. But at the moment, it did seem like they were handling it a little bit better with the defensive specialists in Nachmanov.
It will be interesting to see how, having played a game last night in comparison to Brandeis' fresh legs, are affecting the Jumbos as they go forward into what could be a 5-set match here. But as we always say, the best part about volleyball is that at the beginning, to get some momentum going. A little bit of a crowd is starting to form here in Cousins Gym. Some more people have trickled in, so hopefully they can draw some momentum from them.
Yep. And we do have Nachmanoff back in the back court.
Yeah, it looks like Yarwood is out again. Likely going with the Nachmanoff audit rotation.
Looks to be the same lineup from the judges. They've got Graham and Siegel as the setter, Oppenheimer, Pereira as libero, for Stolfschek on the outside, and it's White in the middle, and Bohr with the right side. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like Graham and Siegel has been playing the whole rotation at setter. Lee again having a tough pass, gets it through the pins for Stolfschek, making the best of it. Lee better pass that time. Lightfoot just going to roll it over. And for Stolfschek, easy. They've got a free ball essentially from the Jumbos. Can't make the most of it. Graham and Siegel out to Bohr. Lee. And a soft block is the attempt from Zedrick. Lee goes in for the save, but unfortunate. Just passed over the net, and the judges made the best of it.
Yeah, again, we were talking about those free balls over the net. The Jumbos need to keep those to a minimum. They had a couple there in the first set.
Lee, better pass, sets up a Dessler, good hit. A one-arm pass from Pereira, and the judges can't wrangle it in. That's going to be 1-1 Tufts versus Brandeis.
It will not surprise me if the Jumbos stick to Dessler and Ryan, some of their captains and more consistent older players here on the team.
Lee places it to Bohr. It's Mansekel goes far and away to the far pin is Verstovšek, gonna hit it out. Point Jumbos.
Lee's got to make sure to just keep these serves in. She does so well with placing the serve, even dropping it in front of that 10-foot line.
Lee goes same spot to that left seam. It's Bohr. She passed it and now can't quite get to the line to hit. Lee wants the set and Dessler slams it home. Oppenheimer with the save. It's going to be a third touch by Pereira over Lightfoot. Zedrick. Dessler from the back row slams it home. Not quite getting the point. Lee's got a nice pass. They've got nice hits. Legree can't quite get her right hand on it. Again, nice strong chance by the Jumbos, but a good placement by Verstovšek is going to get the unlikely point for the judges.
Those passes were a little bit stronger there for the Jumbos, so they were able to run a more regular offense for them, running some of those trickier plays, having Dessler hit from the middle.
Bohr high. Zedrick quick to Legree, pounds it down. No. It's going to be Pereira who wants it, but White, miscommunication. The libero Pereira and the outside Oppenheimer have a little miscommunication.
Just a misplay there on that free ball over from White. But a nice hit there from Legree, who has been playing very well, especially on those blocks so far in this game.
It's you now to set from the back row. Does it hit the line? No. Line judge says it's out.
That was a close serve there. Looked like it dropped on the line there for me, but we'll trust the ref there on that one.
Emerson White back to serve. She had a good run, served short to the far side. Again, nice strong float. Legree gets it up. Golden's going to just pass it right over. And White's there. Verstovšek has good placement, but Yu gets a nice setup. Dessler trying to be smart with it. No. Graham and Siegel to Newberg as the Jumbos are scrambling, but Dessler with the long reach covers her own hit. Legree tries to keep it up. Golden was there, but no third touch from the Jumbos as they were just playing in hard defense for those last few hits.
Nice cover there by Dessler. Just got a little bit behind her with that tip there from Legree.
Good serving run again by Emerson White. Lee, nice pass. Yu going middle. Dessler, no. Great passing. Oppenheimer goes. Lee to Yu, gonna do whatever she wants. Tries to dump it. Great move by you.
Smart play by you, taking advantage of that hole that Brandeis was leaving in the middle of the court.
Nachmanoff is out for Yarwood in the front court. Dessler back to serve. Oppenheimer takes it. Graham Seakel to Verstolfschek. Great pass by you, but Lee's going to have to take it. And Golden tries to tool the block a little. Bounces off the net and into the hands, but into the jumbo court. So point Judges up 5-4.
A great dig there by you on that right side, able to keep that ball in off that
Looked like
hard hit.
you might actually be calling for a shoot here on this play as Verstolfschek goes. Let's see if they get the good pass. Going quick to Golden from the middle as Legree was actually in for the slide at right. And an X, as we'd call that, a little UCLA play. Legree back to serve, and Lee will be out. Verstolfschek, nice pass. Graham Seakel trying to clone what you did, but to no avail. Golden, nice hard hit off the block. Graham Seakel going to the slide, and Newberg hits it home. Dessler got some hands on it, but a shank pass on a hard-placed hit is going to be Judge's point.
Good try there from Dessler, who has been one of the more consistent back row players for the Jumbos this
Oppenheimer goes too deep. Good eye by Lee. All tied up again. Looks like they're just trading points so far. One for Jumbos, one for Brandeis, and back and forth it goes. And now we've got Golden subbing in for Zedrick for the back row, new setter, and Lightfoot as well. Gonna hit right side with Yarwood outside, Jen Ryan at the middle. Dessler still in the back. Pereira, Graham Seakel pushes it, is Newberg, finds the spot, really tough placement right on the line. Dessler, despite the long reach, couldn't quite get to it.
Nice hustle there by Dessler. She was really close to picking that one up, even coming over there from that middle back position.
And it does look like Graham Seakel plays the whole way around, so a little bit weaker hitting as she's in the front court now. Dessler tries to go back row. Set doesn't get quite high enough and gets her arm under it right into the net.
Yeah, that 5-1 that Brandeis seems to be running explains why a lot of their hits are coming there from the back row from Verstolfschek.
Short serve, Lee's there, learned her lesson. It's Yarwood, good leap, slams it home. That's a kill by Janelle Yarwood, and she'll go back to serve.
Yarwood is a strong server, had a nice 6-streak serving run in the first game against Roger Williams. Hoping to continue that kind of play here.
Yarwood not subbing out for Nachmanoff, maybe for the serving power. Graham Seakel out to Bohr, tools the block. Couldn't quite get their hands in, is Lightfoot and Ryan blocking on the right side.
Nachmanoff back in the game now, subbing out there for Yarwood. Keeping up with that libero and DS both in the back row rotation for Tufts.
Right, more hitting power now that Graham Seakel is in the back row, but will give up a point to the Jumbos. Judges still maintain a small 1-point lead as Legree now subs in, and Lee back to serve at the libero position. Goes float to Bohr, looks like they've been targeting her. Graham Seakel gets to it for Stolfschek, can hit from pretty much anywhere. Good pass by Dessler, goes right back to her. Zedrick, Pereira passes nice and high. Graham Seakel able to get under it. Bohr goes. Graham Seakel not able to get it, and jousting at the net. Pereira goes with a roll shot. Zedrick goes quick to Legree, right through the block. Point Jumbos all tied up midway, or about a third of the way through this second set.
There from Legree, who's had a pretty strong game today.
Great clean play from the Jumbos as well as Brandeis. Lee goes short. Pereira gets to it. Graham Seakel close to the net. And it's White who's still able to go right through the block. Great balance by the setter, number 3, Graham Seakel. Really towing her feet at the line. Doesn't net and still gets a great middle set up. Nachmanoff into pass. Legree tries to find the back. No. Won't hit the line, says the back judge. Flag is up.
Another really close shot there for the Jumbos. That's 3 times, I believe, that they've gotten really close there to that back line.
4 back to serve. Lee Zedrick a little out of position. Dessler reaching back for it. Oppenheimer's got the serve. For Stovchek, another roll shot. Looks like Zedrick wants light foot. Reaches high, finds the back corner. Both line judges say that one's in. 10-11 Jumbos judges.
The Jumbos surprisingly have not used Maya Lightfoot a lot in this game. She had a really strong game yesterday against Illinois Tech with 10 kills. Tied for second.
It's tough. I'm not even sure they have a lefty on this team to play a true right side. Oppenheimer shanks the pass. Bohr's got it up. Let's see if they can tip it over. No. White tripping over her setter and Graham Siegel. And you looking to take a jumbo lead, which they haven't had since it was 2-1 way earlier in the set. But nearing their point total from last set, actually. And Graham Siegel chases it down for Stovchek, hits the pin. Jumbo's taking the lead. It's been a back and forth game. No lead greater than 2 this entire set. Judges, of course, won the first.
Is one of the stronger servers here for the Jumbos. So right now they're in a good position to get a nice service when going, put some points up on the board.
Right, had a lot of errors yesterday and continues today after what was a short good run. And now it's Pereira out. They'll let White serve at the middle position, and it's Newberg in the front row. Commentator's curse right there, Lily, also. Yu serving out. Lee, great pass. Yu's got it to Legree, the high hops. Bohr can't reel it in. That's another point, Jumbos.
Another great hit there from Legree. He's really having a stellar game today, especially off of some of those quick sets there from the setter, just shoving them down, unable to be picked up there by Brandeis.
Right. Oppenheimer goes. We'll see Graham Siegel. Tough. No net by either team. As Newberg tries to go, Legree calls for it. Yarwood goes roll shot. Pereira handles it well. Graham Siegel to first. Stolchek, see what she can do. Lee can't quite get to it.
Close there from Lee. Was really in the right position, just unable to get those shoulders around.
Right, looked like maybe the block didn't get all the way over there. Lee thought she had to cover more space, and Verstovchek, so accurate throughout this whole game, able to put it right in the place. Verstovchek goes hard, right into the seam. Is the knuckleball float. Dessler and Lee, neither of them seem to want it.
Verstovchek really has been punishing the Jumbos here, both with her kills and with her serves.
Verstovchek. Back to serve. It's deep. Lee's got it this time. Yu to Legree. Pounds it down. Number 6, Grace Legree. Hang time. Easy money. Finds the spot. When you get that high, you can just slam it home wherever you want.
Legree, who seems to have a lot of momentum right now, seems to be a popular target here from Yu.
Legree now trying to keep the momentum, but loses it. Judges actually come back a point up despite the momentum shift. Oppenheimer tries to make that a bit larger. She goes short. Dessler handles it nicely. Yu to Ryan. They like the middle. Graham Siegel to the judges' middle, and poor timing. Looked like Graham Siegel went high, and Newberg wanted it low as she fails to just tip it over to save the ball.
Lightfoot is back here in the front. Be interesting to see here if the Jumbo's able to use her a little bit more.
Zedrick, the double hop float serve. Love to see it. Oppenheimer, and safety first, as Graham Siegel would have had to dive into the stands and maybe sustained a concussion if she went for that pass. So jumbo
nice
point.
There from Zedrick.
Again, still back and forth. Only a 1-point lead for the Graham Seagull goes quick with the 3. Lightfoot keeps it up. Zedrick. Dessler not able to hit it to the other side on the 3rd touch.
That's a tricky hit there for Dessler coming from that right side. Sort of a low set there from Zedrick. It's hard to go up there and jump for that one.
Pereira back to serve. Goes for Lee. She's been struggling, but has kind of pulled it together. Lightfoot is actually going to hit from the middle.
Nice little out of rotation point there for the Jumbos.
Yeah, great find by Zedrick. Definitely showing her experience as one of the few returning starters for this Jumbos team from the 2019 season. Bohr can't quite get to it, but she's now going to hit it off the set. And Dessler, oh my lord, that must have been 80 miles per hour, and Ryan going to hit it back.
We were talking about it earlier. Dessler is really, really deadly with those line shots. When she's able to get a nice set, she can really just drill it down. It's sort of a lucky point there for Brandeis. I think that bounced off the chest.
Dessler is going to take it, and they go middle Ryan, and they get the tip or the touch by the judges. Brandeis not happy about that one. Some surprise faces on their side, but it's going to be Jumbo's point. They sustain the 1-point lead, which is very hard to come by in this set. Oppenheimer goes. Graham Seagull maybe trying to find White with the quick 3, but the timing is off.
Yeah, it looks like a miscommunication there from Brandeis. Both the middle and the outside went up for that one, but the set really wasn't in place for either of them to do much of anything with it. So the Jumbos really seem to have shifted the momentum back to their side.
Right, a very rare 2-point lead going into the latter quarter of this set. I believe there's been 1, maybe in the middle there. The judges pulled ahead by 2. But so far it's just been neck and neck this whole time as the Jumbos try and tie up the set count. Looks like both teams are playing very clean. Very few errors on either side. Looks like the judges are maybe struggling with getting their offense going with the clean hits, and the Jumbos have given away quite a few points on the serving side of things. But perhaps that's a risk they're willing to take as they're serving much harder and getting the judges out of their offense.
Yeah, the Jumbos have looked significantly more aggressive in this set than they did on the last set, both up there at the net and at the service line. Hopefully they'll be able to continue with that sort of play. Really forces the Brandeis judges out of rotation.
Lee goes to Bohr. They've liked her this whole time. Graham Seagull goes to Bohr again from the back row. Or no, front row, excuse me, but with
nice
the odd shift.
Pancake there from Lee. Looked like she might have had that one, but the refs are going to say that one hit the ground.
Bohr goes. Lee to Zedrick. High to Dessler. She likes it there, but off the block. Judge is able to reel it in for Stolzcheck right through the block. LaGree knew she could have had that one. Hands just a little bit off, and it goes right between her and Dessler as it's tied up at 19. 2 points out of the timeout is Brandeis. Zedrick goes right to Lightfoot, right in the middle of the court. Great set, great execution by the Jumbos as they take the lead again. Hughes in for Lightfoot, and Golden is in for Zedrick.
Strong hit there by Maya Lightfoot, really just shoving it down there into the middle of the court, right into the hole of that Brandeis defense.
Yu ended her serving run with an error last time. We'll see where she goes with this. Nice to Oppenheimer, but they handle it well as White just has to tip it over. Golden finds the back of the court. Bohr is there. Free ball for the Jumbos. They go quick to LaGree, and she finds the spot. That's another nice kill right in the middle of the court. by the Jumbos.
Right now it's looking like those kills, those quick little shots to Legree, it's where a lot of that Jumbo production is coming from.
Yu gets the 2-point lead back for the Jumbos. Serves in, Oppenheimer, she likes that spot. Grandman Sequel to Oppenheimer, has to tip it. Out of position are the Jumbos. Yarwood's going to hit from the back, and out of position are now the judges. Oppenheimer goes short, but can't fit it in. 22-19. Jumbos, that's the biggest lead anyone's had this set, and it comes at the perfect time as they're just 3 points away, from this second set.
That was a nice little save there from Yu, keeping those quick reflexes up, able to just keep that ball up there for the Jumbos. I'm really liking the aggressiveness coming out of that timeout, not letting any of the momentum shift back to Brandeis. Yu here just needs to keep up that serve. She has a really, really strong float serve, but she can send it out the back sometimes. So she just needs to make sure that this ball stays in that court.
Right, incredibly important for the Jumbos to keep their control of the serve here, or at least just serve in. The serving woes have been killer for them. But Yu, if she can fire this one in, maintain their, what is, by this set standards, astronomical lead. They have a great chance. Yu, let's see where she goes. She's deep, unfortunate. Tries to hit Oppenheimer for the 4th time in a row, but won't grab it. And free point for Brandeis. Narrows it down to 2.
Jumbo's really just got to get this one up on that serve. Not let Brandeis get anything going here.
Emerson White is there. Yarwood gets under it. Legree gets up, pounds it down. But Brandeis recovers. Lee, great pass. Yu finds the back row. Yarwood, it goes over again. Yarwood will take her own hit back. Golden tries to push it over. White takes it. Grandman Sequel goes to the middle. Jumbo's covering, playing scrappy. Golden tries to find the back corner, but Bohr is there. Grandman Sequel quick to Newberg. And more sets over as Yu. Nobody wants the ball on their side. Plenty of sets over as some very scrappy volleyball from both sides. And the Jumbos are going to take that one. Very important as they're just 2 points away.
That's Yu's second setter dump for a kill there.
Dessler, short, Oppenheimer. They like serving her. And she'll take that one.
Game point here for the set point here, for the Jumbos.
Dessler, strong serve to Bohr. Grandman Sequel to Newberg. Lee with the pancake. Yarwood, can she slam it home off the block? Grandman Sequel going back to Verstovchek. Dessler trying to track it down. No. Looked like she got a bit caught up on her own player. Not able to try for the miraculous save. Maintained the 3-point lead as Verstovchek is back to serve. Very strong server, but hurts for the judges to not have her in the front court for that strong hitting power. Let's see where she aims, and it's out. 3-point set point for the Jumbos as it's tied 1-1. Great adjustments by the Jumbos. Brandeis still kept it very close. Definitely have maybe the upper edge so far as they really commandingly won that first set. So we'll see how both teams adjust. What are your thoughts? I thought very clean play from both teams, other than what we saw last night. Who would you say has the edge as the Jumbos take the second set of the game?
I think if the Jumbos can keep up that aggressive play that they showed in the last set, which really forced the Brandeis judges out of rotation, forcing them to take some of those free balls or back row hits or just roll shots, the Jumbos will have the edge here. But if they continue like they did in the first set, playing a little bit more conservatively, allowing the judges to really just stay in rotation, and let Verstovchek and White really pound down into them, I think they'll struggle a little bit here in this set. I think for both teams, just keeping the errors to a minimum is going to be super important. They both have done pretty well with that so far, but because they're so evenly matched, any error really could cost them a set here.
Yeah, I think the Jumbos found a lot of success in those middle sets in the second set, as we saw Legree and Ryan getting plenty of action for at least the second half of that set. Of course, when you're getting 1s and 3s, it's so difficult to actually get 2 blockers there, and the Jumbos seem to want to take that one-on-one matchup between hitter and blocker pretty much any day of the week.
Legree really was on fire in that last set, so I'm really looking for the Jumbos to continue just feeding her the ball. As long as she's hot, just keep giving it to her. Lightfoot started to get hot there towards the end of the set. She's another one to watch out for. As the sets got tighter, you could see they were relying there a little bit more on Dessler, one of their more consistent players. She had just that massive shot down the line.
Right, and Jumbos, of course, they like to spread their sets around. Plenty of 1s and 3s, plenty of back sets, but I think the winner of this match is probably going to come down to who can get their ace hitter going. We'll see Dessler with the outside for the Jumbos and Verstovchek on the Brandeis side, hitting from the right.
I think also serve receive for both teams is going to become increasingly important here. The Jumbos really seemed to struggle with that in the first set. They got it going a little bit there in the second set, but some of those Brandeis servers are very strong. So if they're able to keep that serve receive going and able to really get their offense going, the Jumbos should do pretty well here in this set. They've done well in keeping their service errors to a minimum. They really struggled with that last night. But pretty much we've been able to keep the ball in the court on those serves. You did miss one there in that critical moment. It looks like Yarwood is going to be the first one to serve here for the Jumbos, one of their stronger servers.
Right, and it looked like at the end of that, maybe just to keep the momentum going, Yarwood was actually passing from the back row as opposed to knocking off, so we'll see if that continues.
Yarwood did have 6 digs in the last game, so she can be very powerful there from the back row. Struggled a little bit in the first set, hence the knockman off rotation.
Pereira immediately subs in for her middle, Newberg. As we get this third set going, Yarwood back to serve, 0-0 Jumbos judges. Hard float right into the libero, Pereira. That's an ace from Yarwood.
An example of Yarwood at her best. Those float serves just skimming right over that net. So hard to return.
It's a good game. Yarwood goes hard. Great serves. Same thing. So difficult when it has so much velocity and so much movement. As Pereira struggles to reel that one in.
She needs to be a little bit careful here. That ball looks like it would have been out.
Yarwood goes strong to Oppenheimer this time. Pereira's going to have to launch it up, and it's for Stolchek that gets it over. Lee, the bump set to Dessler. Another free ball as Zedrick opts to bump set it. Pereira going for the set for Stolchek, blocked by Dessler and Ryan. Still in play for Stolchek, going to go for the tip this time, not confident. And Yarwood goes into the net.
Just a little bit of a timing error there from Yarwood on when to go up. Jumped a little bit late, so she was not able to get up there to that full height and get that ball there over the net. Good out of rotation play, though, on that point from the Jumbos.
Bohr goes to Yarwood, hasn't been targeted too much. Lightfoot going from the right side. Pereira's going to have to bump set this one to their favorite target. And for Stolchek, Lee's right there. She's learned her lesson. Dessler going with the roll shot. Great option by Dessler. One of the many things in volleyball is, the better you're hitting, the more powerful those roll shots and tips are.
A great dig there from Lee, too, on that line
Lee
shot.
goes short to Pereira. Grandman Seacold goes, and Oppenheimer finds Yarwood 17-17 in the back. Dessler goes hard, and it's Bohr who can't reel it in.
Dessler's finally getting some action here on the outside. I think trying to spread the ball out here a little bit. They've used Legree a lot in the last set.
Lee's there, man. Seacold to White, and wanted a tip, but no, it's just going to be a clean out as Emerson White tried to push that into the hands of the Jumbos to no avail. Lee, let's see where she goes. She goes in the 3 or 4 position.
Lee so good with the placement on that serve. Dropping that ball right on that 10-foot line. So hard to return. As you can see, they only have 2 people in the back row now.
She looks to go deep to Pereira. Oppenheimer's way out there to get it. Bohr's got a clean hit. And poor communication by the Jumbos. Lee and Yarwood can't decide who wants it. Lee, great server. One of the few I see Coach Thompson really spread the ball around. Has a lot of confidence in her placement and her ability to get it anywhere she wants. Great serve. And it's Dessler who can't handle it. The cross-court float, plenty of movement. We can even see from here, from Emerson White's float serve.
White's serve has proved a bit of a challenge for the Jumbos so far. Quite a few service errors.
She wants Dessler again, but can't quite do it twice in a row as it'll go out. Dessler knew it the whole way, it seemed.
Looks like we're using Farragher instead of Golden at that right side position.
It'll be interesting to see. Not sure what the scouting report on that is. Maybe more hitting power, more blocking. And man, Seacold goes to Newberg. Lee bumps at Farragher with her first point in. Gets a hit. Lee's there. Good dive. Yu running to get it. Dessler tries to save the day. No. Pereira. Oppenheimer trying to track it down. And hits the pin.
Looks like Dessler's ball went off the face there of Bohr.
That's tough.
Not a hitter I would want to receive
I
in my face.
I would never want to take. Really, I wouldn't even want to receive a Dessler hit with my forearms. All right, for Stolchek. Lee goes up and high to Yu, finds her favorite target in Dessler. Yu again trying to spread it around to Farragher, right off the block. Great power, great hops, able to just hit it straight through the block. Sometimes, unless your technique is absolutely perfect, just a nice hard hit can go right through and get your offense out of position.
Farragher's had some good momentum since coming into the game here.
Yu tries to go short to the 2 spot, but no, it's right into the net.
I believe that is the second service error of the day there from Yu.
And Verstolchek in the backcourt again. We'll see how this offense moves with her over there. Yarwood, nice and high. Dessler from the right side. They'll stay one, it looks like, and it works out just fine.
Beautiful line there from the former NESCAC Rookie of the Year. So consistent, both from the outside and from the right side.
Kate Dessler with the hard float, gets some spin on it. And good pass by Dessler, keeps it in. Grandman Seacold. And Newberg gets the line hit. Point for Brandeis. Still down 5 at the moment. Definitely one of the bigger leads we've seen for the Jumbos. Perhaps their biggest, if I'm not mistaken, in the entire game. And Oppenheimer goes. Lee just wants it. You to Yarwood. She's going to have to tip that one too far away. No
got
chance
a little too close there to the net there from you. Yarwood unable to get that one back up.
Oppenheimer deep. Dessler watches it the whole way. Happy to get a free point. 11-6 Jumbos.
Both teams being really aggressive here at the cost of some errors on service.
And with Legree serving, that means Lee is out for a point. And Legree finds Oppenheimer, who she's been targeting. And Mansekel goes out to Bohr. Just enough touches by the Jumbos. Oh, and Bohr with the hit.
Looked like Ryan there was a little bit late on the block. Virgo went up by herself, so Bohr was able to just drill that down.
Bohr has seen plenty of action and has seemed to serve as more of a defensive specialist in the backcourt, as we've seen some great defense by her, but a great hit. Lee to you, quick to Ryan, finds her spot. Pereira can't get two hands on it, and Mansekel unable to track it down. Point Jumbos, 12-7.
Those quick hits from the Jumbos have been super productive in today's game, catching those Brandeis judges off guard.
Zedrick wants to serve to Oppenheimer, I imagine. And it's Mansekel who can't quite get the pass. And Zedrick will be back to serve again. And too deep is Zedrick, going to give that one away. Tufts still a 5-point lead. Looks like it's been this way for a bit. Nobody gaining, nobody moving behind. And Yarwood too deep. Zedrick not able to soft block it as Emerson White pounds that one down.
Those overballs are really what you look for when you're playing middle. Basically a free shot to just spike that ball down wherever you want it.
Tufts, despite maintaining a 4-point lead, which is better than they had all of last set, not taking it to chance. Looks like Coach Cora Thompson has an adjustment that she feels she needs to make. As the Jumbos have been pretty clean this set, halfway through. Looks like they have a few service errors, but nothing as bad as we've seen in the first set. And the judges are getting a free timeout here as they're down 4. Lily, what have you seen for the first half?
I think the Jumbos have come out of that second set win very strong. They're serving very aggressively. A lot of those balls are going all the way to that back line. For the Jumbos, I think here it's going to just be all about maintaining this lead that they do have, not making any mistakes, not giving up any free points. Those free balls over the net can be really costly there for them. Just to make sure that they're keeping those serves in while making sure that they're staying aggressive enough to make sure that the judges are out of rotation. Not allowing some of the judges' stronger hitters to be able to get lined up in the positions they like.
All right. I'm sure that was great analysis, Lily, but they were playing Taylor Swift over the intercom, so my ears were full. Zedrick goes to Yarwood. Pereira gonna take it. Mansekel gets a good look. White has to push it over. Zedrick goes back to Lightfoot. Hard hit. Thought she had it, but it goes over. Still playing scrappy. Zedrick. Ryan trying to take it, and it'll be a lift or a double from the Jumbos.
That was a massive hit there from Lightfoot. I really did not think that one was coming back over. I think the Jumbos also had a similar notion. We're not really ready for that ball.
Couldn't quite get under it. Zedrick goes with a 2 to Lightfoot. I love that that rotation with their hitters where they get that right side hitting through the middle, and Ryan was ready on the right pin.
Redemption moment there for Lightfoot, just shoving that ball down for the kill.
Yeah. Don't make her mad. She'll just hit it harder. Mansekel goes to White. heavy swing, but can't get her hand on it.
Nice serve there from Yarwood, bouncing it off the top of that net. Disrupting the path of the ball, making it so hard to return.
Yarwood, float. Nice movement. Mansekel goes back. Doesn't quite get to the pin, but Bohr. Nice hops. Zedrick falling over double, I imagine, as she tripped a little before she could get there.
Yeah, it looks like she maybe tripped over someone's foot there.
Still looked like a pretty set to me. It was
certainly a better set than I could ever do.
Right. Bohr goes deep, finds Lee. Zedrick gonna put it up high for Dessler, right through the block. Falls right in front of the libero in Pereira, and nobody was stopping Dessler as she is imposing her will, just like Lightfoot.
As we've been saying, her arm is so strong. She was able to really just shove that through that block, which is really there in the right position.
Lee found her opposite libero. Great hit by Verstovšek, but Jumbo's able to recover. Verstovšek trying to do the same thing. A double cover from the Jumbos. Lee gets a surprise third touch, but not able to hit it back over. Verstovšek had control of that point all the way through.
Verstovšek really punishing Lee down that line from the right side, but Lee's done a really good job of actually returning a lot of those hits, really adjusting her position after she missed the first one.
Dessler gets the pass. Legree with a rare set. Oh, and White not able to handle it with her hands. And that'll be point Jumbos.
Legree. It's not often you find middles in any sort of position to be setting. Yu back to serve. She has had 2 service errors so far in this set.
Yu tries to find Oppenheimer, but good eye by number 17 as it's just a little out.
Another really close ball there for you.
Verstovšek. You know, now that we're through this game a bit, I really haven't seen too much of an offensive drought when Verstovšek is in the back and Mansekel's in the front. Dessler tries to slam it home. Gonna try and get it as it comes right back to her. Pereira goes up. Dessler wants a block now. And Farragher passes it over for Verstovšek. Nope. It's a set over. Tries to get the Tufts team off guard, and that she does. They get the tough pass, but straight into the net, and nobody's there to handle the second touch.
A nice up there from Yu, and what looks like the ball slammed into her shoulder, but able to keep that play going.
Verstovšek back to serve, hard to Lee, not able to handle it. That was a boomer right there. You could hear it in the inflation of the ball.
Echoed through the gym here. She's got a really nice wrist snap, both on her hits and on her serves, which is giving her a ton of power.
She'll go hard. Float. Lee gets it that time. Yu can't find Legree, and that's 4 touches from the Jumbos. A little miscommunication between Yu and Legree. And Brandeis with the opportunity to tie it up, and Tufts wants to take their final time out of the set before the judges get the opportunity to do so.
Tufts really looking to keep up that momentum that they had earlier on here in the set. Hopefully break up a little bit of this service run that Verstovšek has going. Tufts has struggled with her all day, both at the service line and up in the front row hitting. So powerful on her swings. Lee has made some good adjustments in the back row for Verstovšek, really picking up some of those line shots. But they don't quite have an answer for her serve right now, so hopefully they'll use this timeout to maybe ice her.
Right, it looks to be another close set after the Jumbos took their early lead. We'll see how the adjustments with Farragher hitting right side work out. as you making sure everyone knows their hitting positions before the serve.
It would not surprise me if the Tufts getting up here, if they do another one of those one sets there to Legree. She's been hot all day.
And Verstovšek trying to continue her run. She's been great from behind the line. Aims for Lee. Shank pass. Dessler tries to save it and into the net. Legree falls over trying to get the third touch, but it was going to have to be a miracle after that great service from Verstovšek. It's all tied up now, going into the last 8 points of set 3. Verstovšek aiming for Lee again. And the receiving adjustments are not working for the Jumbos. And now they're going to want Megan Harrison in as DS. A little, your classic libero substitute. Sub in Jen Ryan for about 2 seconds and then sub her out for a defensive specialist.
Harrison played decently well in the first set.
And nice roller off the net. Dessler!
Oh, just drilled by Dessler.
Too easy for her. When you, the unfortunate service right off the net really just takes some velocity off it. Yarwood, Dessler is a free point for the Jumbos. Dessler goes hard to Pereira. Mansekel out to Oppenheimer, blocked by Legree and Farragher. Pereira gonna bump set to Oppenheimer again. Can't quite get it past the block, and close to the net. Yarwood can't get it. And Verstovšek was waiting for her setter to get the second touch on that one, but didn't look like either of them was going to save that, as Dessler looks to get a quick serve in here right away, try and keep them on the back of their heels. Pereira goes. Mansekel out of position, but Verstovšek from the back row serves it, hits it way out, excuse me.
Yeah, quick play here by the Jumbos, really trying to keep up that momentum that they got back there from that massive hit by Dessler.
Oh, and an uncharacteristic mistake by Verstovšek, and that's going to be counted as an ace, just one touch from Dessler's nice serve. And now, despite being down this entire set, it's going to be the judges' first time out, 21-18 Jumbos.
The Jumbos really came thundering back after that timeout, after an initial 2 misplays there off of some serves. They were able to really gain back that momentum from just a massive hit from Dessler. Really good blocking coming out of that timeout there from Legree, really kind of shutting down that outside attack from Brandeis.
Right, the match is far from over, obviously, and I won't take credit for my commentating, but I was saying before that I think the team that comes out top is whoever gets their ace in the hole going faster, and Dessler seems to be pounding these balls in as Verstovšek is kind of struggling to get those clean right side hits, even when she is in the front row.
It also is a slightly unfortunate rotation here as we're nearing the end of this set for Brandeis with Verstovšek there in the back row. You really want your ace hitter up in the front row.
Right, and of course Mansekel, front row. So Dessler goes to Pereira. They like serving to her, and that's going to be Newberg, who had the roll shot. Mansekel tries to go quick. Maddie Yu has to take it, which means no proper set. And now it's Newberg again, right off the block. Yarwood and Legree not able to get there in time, had their hands still pointing outwards.
Yeah, Legree was just a little bit late getting out there, so Yarwood was up by herself, unable to angle those hands inside.
Oppenheimer to Harrison. Go quick to Legree. Finds her spot. They love those sets, especially against Brandeis. Able to get there. The eagle eye vision from Legree finds the spot, and that's a point, 22-19. We saw the same score at the end of last set. Let's see if the Tufts Jumbos can close it again. Legree, nice serve in. Mansekel goes. It's going to have to be tipped by Newberg. Yarwood hits hard off the block, right off the fingers, and unfortunate for Brandeis as nobody's going to be able to track that one down.
Yarwood has been really consistent with those crosses off the block today, gaining a lot of points for the Jumbos by just tooling it, not even tooling it, really just drilling it off the top of the block.
And Legree, another service error. She's had a few today. That'll give Lee the chance to sub in at the libero position as Pereira's back. Pereira, float. Lee's got a nice clean pass. Nice to Yarwood. And that was Emerson White, who couldn't get her hands up in time.
Just an unfortunate play for White there. It's always sad when you're in the middle, and a play like that happens where the ball dribbles down your front when you're unable to get your hands over the net there. Zedrick is back to serve. We're going to actually have a timeout here from Brandeis at set point.
All 4 timeouts taken this set, as it's still set point for the Jumbos, and they'll have the serve with Zedrick, trying to put this one away. Now, regardless of who wins this, it'll still be a close game, 2-1. In the long term, how do you think the Jumbos are adjusting, or how do you think the judges are adjusting with their woes in this set?
The Jumbos seem to be really coming out aggressive, which I like, and it's forcing those Brandeis players to be back on their heels. Versovchek, who probably is their best hitter, has really not been able to get any sort of consistent rhythm going, and I think that's really benefited the Jumbos here, who haven't really had a big answer for her on the net. She's been really able to go around that block, and the Jumbos defense has done a decent job of picking it up, but we'll see what they do here on set point.
Zedrick goes short to Bohr this time. Mansekel with the slide. Oh, and it works out despite the odd hit by White. Just had to hit it on the run. Nice point by Brandeis, being able to keep it in, and no clean pass from the Jumbos.
Brandeis has struggled with that slide all day.
Verstovchek's back in the front row. White puts up a block on Lightfoot, but no, it's just the net with the contact. Dessler with a really nice hand pass. Yarwood goes off the block. Mansekel out to Bohr, high hops. It's blocked, still in play. Mansekel now right side to Verstovchek, and it's no touch right off the net. Set point Jumbos. It's 2-1 in set count. Lily, I thought the most apparent difference in those teams in the last set was the Jumbos' ability to really spread the ball around. It looked like on the Brandeis side, Verstovchek was really the only one getting those clean kills. Of course, very few errors on the part of Newberg, White at the middle, and Bohr on the outside. But really, Tufts able to spread it to 2 different right sides, 2 different middles, and 2 different outsides. It's really tough to block that. And I think the Tufts defense, if it holds up, can really take this game into their own hands.
Yeah, Brandeis has had almost no middle productivity so far in any of these 3 sets. They really seem to favor Verstovchek there on that right side. They've especially struggled, I've noticed a little bit, with those slide hits. The timing just seems to be a little bit off, and they always end up in more of a push. But the Jumbos have done a much better job in these last 2 sets of making sure that Brandeis stays out of rotation, really forcing them to not go to their right side, and Verstovchek forcing them to go to those outsides. The Jumbos have also put up a fairly impressive block on the outside, especially from Legree and Lightfoot. Legree and Dessler have definitely been standouts for the Jumbos so far. Dessler's had a couple of massive kills, and Legree has just been overwhelmingly consistent there with those one-shots. Lots of kills and lots of forced errors there from her. One thing I would say the Jumbos can improve on is making sure that those service errors stay there to a minimum. I know Maddie, you had a couple there in that last set. Just trying to make sure that the Otis is there on Brandeis to make those errors, especially because they now have a 2-set-to-1 lead. They can afford to take, I think, their foot off the gas a little bit. Just make sure they're staying consistent and really force Brandeis to make some errors here.
Right, Brandeis really kept it close despite less firepower than the Jumbos. I think that's definitely attributed to their clean play, very few service errors, receiving errors, just able to keep the ball in play. It's really just the kills from the Jumbos that get them. So I think you're right. If they can maintain that clean defense, the Jumbos are really going to have a tough time. It's very difficult to rely on these hard, clean kills where you're finding the middle of the floor. Just one block can kind of ruin your day, as Yarwood was really hitting off the hands a lot, no errors, but Brandeis seemed to have her number there.
Yeah, Yarwood, I think being a little bit shorter than some of the other Tufts offensive players, finds herself hitting off that block a lot, but she finds actually a lot of success in doing it, really sending those off sort of the tips of the fingers of the blockers and out of bounds, which makes it really hard there to return for the defense.
All right, fourth set of the Jumbo season. Here we go, Judges versus Jumbos. Been very close all the way throughout. Jumbos have really pulled it back, have improved each set. We'll see if Brandeis can make the necessary adjustments and get some points on the board and maybe send this to a fifth set, something the Jumbos really aren't used to in any season.
The momentum in the gym does seem to have picked up a little bit here from both teams. Maybe largely attributed to some of the music they have going on. Both teams appear to be jumping around a lot.
Good, always a good soundtrack in Cousins Gymnasium. All right, Bohr back to serve. And right into the net. Unfortunate way to start. Jumbo's got a free point and get the serve. It'll be Yarwood. And Brandeis has yet to change their lineup at all. Seems to be the same 7 players throughout. The 6 starters plus the libero. Right off the net. Tough, but Mansiko's there for Stovšek. Goes high, but can't find it. Maybe trying to get away from that block.
Yeah, that consistency in the Brandeis lineup is something that you've seen through all 5 of the games they've played this season. Really only playing the same 7 people in comparison to the Jumbos, who have pretty much everybody on their rosters had at least some playing time over their 3 games.
First, a huge block by Ryan with the assist by Lightfoot.
A really nice shutdown of that outside attack there from the Jumbos. They've been really big over there on the outside all game.
And out by Yarwood. Going to give Brandeis their first point of the set.
A little too aggressive there on that serve. Something the Jumbos need to be cautious of throughout the rest of this set. Some of their serves were toying the edge of going out of that back line there.
Emerson White goes to Steph Lee, and Zedrick going to have to bump it to Dessler. Hits it hard, and the Brandeis judges are on the floor. Nobody's going to be able to get that. A little crossing pass formation from Bohr and Verstovšek, if I'm not mistaken. And nobody is able to track that one down. Steph Lee trying for a good placement. Bohr's going to have to take it. Mansekel goes with the 3 to Newberg, and that goes right through the block. A good change of pace from the judges to start this fourth set.
A little bit of a hole there in that block between Legree and Lightfoot. Lightfoot was not quite able to get all the way over, so they were able to kind of bounce that ball in between the two of them.
Verstovchik. And it's a float to Yarwood. Looked too deep. Had to swing her arms to get that one.
Looked like that ball might have been out of bounds if the Jumbos had let that one go. Yarwood took that in sort of an awkward position. You never really want to try to stick your arms like that. You always want to be behind the ball.
All right, it's Verstovchik again with her second serve in a row. Goes to Yarwood again. She's ready for that one. Zedrick goes out to Dessler right off the block. Pereira didn't like her pass. And over is no lift from Newberg. But it's Legree who hits it home.
I think that is going to be a net. It looks like on the Jumbos, on Legree. I think ended up in the net there after that hit, but it really was a beautiful hit there from her.
Unfortunate. Gemma's not happy with it. On the other side, no bias here, but Brandeis maybe got away with a lift from Newberg there. Seemed to have a nice open hand on that ball when she tipped it over. But we'll see Verstovchik go. Yarwood's there. Zedrick goes middle to Lightfoot. They like getting their right size in. And Oppenheimer tries a cheeky little roll shot, but no, it's right into the net. She's kind of struggled with those. Seems like she's been aiming for that 4 spot on the court, but has hit the net a few times.
Yeah, the sets there for Brandeis to the outside have been a bit of a struggle. A lot of them have been off that net there, forcing lots of like roll shots and tips.
You goes to Pereira. It's a shank pass. Pereira's going to have to push it right over. Yarwood's right there, but unfortunate, not able to wrangle that one in. And Brandeis, it's the middle. Newberg is in to just hit that one right back. So a jumbo advantage turns into a Brandeis point, and it's all tied up with Oppenheimer back to serve. Steph Lee goes to Maddie Yu. Dessler's in the middle, right into Verstovchik's arms, but too powerful is Dessler's hit. And that's 6-5 jumbos.
Massive hit there from Dessler from the middle. So dangerous from all 3 positions in the front. She's had a kill from all 3 today.
Dessler, you know, you could call that luck, perhaps, right off the net, but it's all physics. You know, you can aim for that.
Back to serve again is Dessler.
Kate Dessler goes hard to the middle. Pereira, they've been targeting her all day. Verstovchik from the back goes off the net. Legree saves it, and Yu is going to have to push it over. Smart pass finds their setter out of rotation, and Bohr's going to have to get it. But now the jumbos are out of rotation. Steph Lee is going to have to get it to Yarwood. Good clean pass. It's over. Farragher's ready. Mansekel goes middle to Newberg. Lee trying to pass. Farragher not able to get it off the net. Really great point by both teams. Some great passes, some hard hits, and it's just a little shanked pass off the net that ends the point. Brandeis.
Yeah, really nice rally with lots of strong hits from both teams. Some good digs, a lot of out-of-rotation play.
Pereira goes short. Legree has to take it. Yu goes back to Legree, gets up, and a nice dig by Verstovchik, but her team isn't there to cover it. And that's another point for the jumbos with a small 2-point lead. Lee is out for her point as Legree is in rotation to serve. She'll go to Oppenheimer. And it's Mansekel to White. They have to save it. It would have been in. And Pereira not ready. A little
Lucky there on that overpass from Legree into the middle.
Right. Just a lapse in communication. Legree gets another serve. She struggled with service errors, but Pereira, a really nice set to Bohr. Yu's going to have to take it, so Dessler with the set. And a tip by Yarwood. Mansekel, back row. for Stovchek, wants a tip, but no. It's just a clean out 10-6 Jumbos. They're on a nice little run with Legree back to serve.
A nice set there from Kate Dessler after you had to take that ball.
Right, it's been a lot of sets from non-setters. Very powerful serve from Legree. Oppenheimer has to pass it right over. Dessler not quite ready for it, wasn't backed up, but Yarwood still getting a clean hit. Powerful, good placement right into Pereira's arms, and it's out into the stands. No souvenirs here, unfortunately.
No.
They're going to ask for that one back, but
And Bohr goes right into the score table. Doesn't look injured, but I could hear that hit from here.
watch out. Andrew Anderton, announcer, good friend of JumboCast. Don't want him getting hurt. Pereira still struggling to pass. It's Manseco out. Bohr trying to save it with a sidearm hit. You trying to stay out of the net. Ryan still gets up. Confident interceptor. Oh, what a tip by Yarwood. Doesn't hit it straight down. Had the vision and goes to the side into that four spot on the court. Really nice play by Janelle Yarwood.
By Yarwood. Finding that massive open spot there in the front left from Brandeis. Just smart play all around from the Jumbos. Really covering for each other here in this set. They've been out of rotation for a lot of it, but it really has not affected the way that they've played. They've still been able to get lots of strong hits off of some of those sort of weird overpasses, dribbles, and rolls that Brandeis has been sending over. Brandeis' offense has struggled a little bit here in this set. The outside attack has not been that powerful. They haven't really gone to the middle all that often. And Verstalchuk has just struggled to keep it in bounds here a little bit in this set. I think really trying to make her way around that block.
The Jumbos have slowly been wearing down the judges as they lost the first set pretty handily, then had a nice close second set, pulled away in the third set, and now they're pulling away even more early in the third set, 12-6, trying to put this game away. Legree has been on a nice run, definitely doesn't want a service error here. Very important that she gets this one in. Legree with the float, hard, and no, it's out. Jumbos have struggled with that. Perhaps icing the server a bit, but it's Lee in for the defensive prowess.
Yeah, I think between this game and the last game, Coach Thompson will have the Jumbos running some service drills.
Exactly, and now Yu has to chase for that one. Farragher reaching high, but a few feet out, and that'll be another point. 2 out of their timeout for the judges. Manseco is back to serve. Dessler, nice pass. You can do whatever she wants. Yarwood, a bit of a missed timing. Looked like she was there a bit too early, had to adjust, but still, such a powerful hit. Nice flick, and gets the shanked pass from Oppenheimer and Pereira there.
Yeah, Yarwood's wrist snap, again, is so strong. She's really able to make a lot out of those hits. So no matter where that set is placed, even if it's behind her, she'll be able to get that snap and that power.
Zedrick and Lightfoot in, and it's Bohr hitting from the right side this time. Caught the Jumbos by surprise. Really nice placed hit, and Dessler and Zedrick aren't able to get that one.
Another souvenir there for the fans in the stands.
You should have gotten a souvenir. You nearly got hit in the face yesterday. All right, Zedrick with the slide to Ryan, finds it.
Big
Rips
hit.
through the tape, so much power, finds the middle of the court, and that's another point for the Jumbos.
Both teams today have struggled to get huge hits off of those slides. So it's really nice to see Ryan just slam that one down right there into the middle of that court.
Yarwood goes, and it's Pereira. White pushes it over. Dessler trying to find the timing, doesn't quite get the power behind it. Zedrick going to give Lightfoot a chance, and if it wasn't a lift, it didn't get over the net, so that's going to be a point for the judges.
Yeah, keeping that hand open, looks like that one would have been a lift from Lightfoot if the play had continued. but just a little unable to get a good dig on that one.
It's Emerson White. Nice short. We saw that in the first set. Lee caught again, just too short. She made that mistake a few times in the first set, and now it's coming back. But we'll see if she knows what adjustment she wants. Gets low to the ground. Emerson White probably going to go to the same spot, and she does, but it's Dessler this time. Zedrick going to have to run for it. Dessler trying to save the day. No. Mansekel goes right to Verstolfschek and right into the middle of the floor. We haven't seen too many of those. A lot of the kills from the Brandeis judges have been right on the line, but Verstolfschek really reaching high and flicking into the middle of the court.
Looks like that block jumped just a bit early, so Verstolfschek was able to get them while they were on the descent and just slam that ball down. Such a powerful hitter for Brandeis.
And it's an untied shoe by Zedrick. Safety first. A pause in play. Judges only down 2 now. Emerson White on a really nice run. We'll see where she aims, and she goes for short to Dessler. No, she sees it the whole way. 3-point for the Jumbos.
Poor Brandeis. An error that they really can't afford to be having at this point in the game.
Steph Lee, with her great accuracy, gonna go to Bohr. No, she misses for Oppenheimer, but it works out. And Pereira can't quite get it out. It's totally possible she was aiming for Oppenheimer, but in my omniscient view from up here, I can maybe see where Coach Thompson is telling her to go. She goes short this time. Bohr is there. Really nice dig. And Steph Lee with a nice dig of her own for Verstolfschek's hard pass. Yarwood gets it up. Oh, they're still playing. Oh! Zedrick, what a smart play. Sees half the Brandeis team down and sets it quick over to the back left corner. Great point by the Jumbos with a smart play from their veteran setter, Rel Zedrick.
Nice communication there by Zedrick to call off the rest of the Jumbos when she saw that hole.
Ooh, nice serve, but they still get a good hit up is Oppenheimer. Zedrick goes back to Lightfoot, slams it, no. Pereira and Oppenheimer on the run, gonna have to go for that. Zedrick can do whatever she wants with it. Legree goes high, and it's a point for the Jumbos right off the hand of the libero Pereira.
Another one of those kills from the one position. Such an interesting formation there from the Jumbos, because as you said, they could not practice that set last year because of COVID restrictions, but it's proven to be very useful for them today.
Steph Lee with the accurate serve. Great hustle by the Brandeis judges as it was Oppenheimer reaching over the table, trying not to punch anyone, keeping score, but it'll be point for the Jumbos, 7-point lead, one of the biggest we've seen. And Lily, how do you think the Jumbos have been pulling away this set as opposed to all the others, which were close or in Brandeis' favor?
I've seen much stronger defense off of some of those hits from the Jumbos this set. They have not had nearly as many shanked passes. They've all really been hustling too, and even though both teams have almost uncharacteristically been out of rotation for a good portion of this set, they've both been really able to get nice hits off of some of those out of rotation plays. You know, we've seen sets from both Legree and Dessler where they're able to set up their teammate there for a kill. I think Brandeis here just needs to keep their errors to a minimum. They had a couple service errors there. Those are things they cannot afford with the Jumbos looking as hot as they are right now. And the Jumbos just really need to make sure that they are keeping their own errors to a minimum, reducing especially those service errors, but also not taking their foot off the gas too much, and really allowing that Brandeis offense to get back into a good rotation for them.
All right, Steph Lee has been on a nice run. We'll see where she goes with this one. It's just 2 back. Oh, and great call by Oppenheimer. Goes right to her. And excuse me, that was Newberg with the kill. That was actually really interesting. You saw Lee go right for that short serve, And I thought the judges might have been out of position, but Oppenheimer knew where she was going the whole time. Nice, easy pass, and judges got the point for it. For Stovšek, hard serve. Yarwood handles it as best she can. Yarwood gonna hit now. Great job getting it right to Pereira. Pereira's gonna have to go over. Steph Lee taking that free ball, and Lightfoot ripping through the tape. Point Jumbos.
A nice hit there from Lightfoot. I really like seeing the Jumbos engaging that right side attack. They have such strong right side hitters in Farragher, Lightfoot, and Golden. Lightfoot, and Golden. They have not been passing to them a ton today, so it's nice to see that they're using them.
Mediu, and it's Graham Mansekel who tips it over. Jumbo's got a little touch, but to no avail. It's going to be the judges' ball, as they've got what is a near insurmountable lead.
Miscommunication there, I think, between Yarwood and Lee.
Yeah, nice ace from Oppenheimer. Only 5 points down. Steph Lee takes it. Maddie Yu going to Farragher. And that's going to be a tough pass to set. Wow. And good point by the judges. Looked like they were really scrambling there. Couldn't really decide who was taking that second ball for the entire point. But it's the judges, or the Jumbos, who make the final mistake and give their opponent the point. Dessler and Lee both try to take it. Farragher try to save with a tip, but no, it's a 4-0 run for the Brandeis judges, as they're now just down 3, and Coach has a problem with that.
That timeout does not surprise me there from the Jumbos. They need to just take a moment, breathe a little bit, collect themselves, really go back to those fundamentals on defense, make sure they're squaring those shoulders, facing their body towards that setter there, so they can just go ahead and get a nice dig and really be able to utilize all of those offensive weapons that they do have.
I'm not sure what the adjustment was on Brandeis' part, but I'm not sure it even mattered. It really seemed like those points were just the Jumbos not being able to get their hands under the ball with the tricky offense by Brandeis. So we'll see what the adjustment is there. It may just be as simple as, talk louder. Tell your team when you're going for the ball.
I would not be surprised if they are going over those seams, really just making sure that the people on defense understand who has which seam. Usually you get the seam to your left, so we'll see if the Jumbos go with that strategy.
Good insight, as it's Oppenheimer to serve. She usually looks at Yarwood, but she'll try and go short, and no. Nothing's going to come out of that, and again, it's something you really can never do is a serve out right outside of a timeout. It just gives so much momentum to your opponent, and Oppenheimer, really nice pass. Newberg had a nice tip. Lee tried to save it. Farragher actually tried to play soccer with that one, try to keep it up, but
smart play there from Brandeis, using those two different hitters to confuse that Jumbo block, so by the time that the hitter actually hit it, the block was already back down.
Okay, good call. Legree, the middle, is actually back to pass, and Farragher gets a chance at it. Really nice spot, right on the line. Nothing the judges can do about it, and Tufts 3 more points until the match is there. It's Legree back to serve. Dessler and Yu are in the backcourt with her. And it's Bohr who shanks it, and Mansekel just had no shot getting there, all the way from the opposite side of the court.
Almost into that score table again for the judges. Legree really just needs to keep this one in here as we're nearing match point.
Legree goes deep to Oppenheimer. Mansekel goes out to Bohr. Nice hops. Dessler gets it nice and high, but it's off. Yu tries to go to Yarwood, sneaks it in right through the pin, And Ryan takes the free ball. To Farragher off the block. Good point by the Jumbos.
Nice
it's match point, and they're in their groove.
A nice attack there from the right side by Farragher. It looked like the Jumbos were maybe going to go to that middle attack there from Yarwood.
And Legree into the net. Unfortunate. Couldn't put the game away there. Brandeis still have a chance.
Jumbos really just need to be smart here on their serve receive. Don't get too excited as you're nearing the end of this game.
And it's the setter, Mansekel. Trying to go to Yarwood. Nice heart. And Yarwood trying to go back.
It's going to be a net.
That's a net, but who was it? And they're going to give it to the judges. Someone definitely hit the net. It might have been both, to be totally honest. But looked like the refs agreed that it was the Jumbos. And now Mansekel goes to Dessler. Quick to Ryan, but good coverage. Oh, she's not going to be denied. The captain, fifth-year Jen Ryan, slams it home. And both teams will wave to each other. It's COVID, so no high fives, unfortunately. And that's going to do it.
A nice play there from Ryan. Unable to get that kill on the first hit and then just slamming it down on that overpass there.
Right. Great way to start off our day with the 10 a.m. game. Very close. It was the first time the Jumbos went to a fourth set, but they come home with a dub in their own court. Brandeis judges definitely look powerful, but kind of let it slip away at the end. And now it's on to some friendly games, which we will not be covering from Illinois Tech and Wellesley, but we will be back at 5 p.m. for the Jumbos versus the Wellesley Blue. And Lily, you are also not on that game, so it'll be a whole new crew, and we look forward to seeing you.